me dead in the eye. I was around 17 at this point, and she asked me, she asked me, so how many times did you die and come back, Bamitale? And I was so shocked. I was taken aback. Like it was an odd thing to say. So I'm just going to go with this and not overthink it. Yeah, so introducing the scene. I just got out of the shower. I'm supposed to be at Ikeja today, and I want to do a gribimi. I can't do anything. I think I'll attach a clip. I want to do a gribimi and chat, I guess. So have my mirror here that I won from reading the Bible in 1 year, and it's such a nice gift because our moderator quoted that verse in the Bible in James that talks about like that we should not look at ourselves it's as if we're looking at ourselves in the mirror, forgetting what we look like and going on. So it's like the mirror is the word of God. So when the word of God kind of shows us who we are, and we should not forget and just go around like we didn't see anything. So for my skincare routine, I don't wash my face in the morning. I always take showers at night, so I wash my face at night. Then when I take showers in the morning, I do not wash my face. Stay with me. It might be the poverty in me talking, but I had this tip like few years ago, and I've been running with it. I would have phases where I would do it and stop, but now I've stuck with it for about a year, and I believe it kind of helps the skin barrier, and it saves you face wash, which is a win is a win, guys. A win is a win. So so the title is not a clickbait, and no, I do not have sickle cell. So let's get into it. My face is still damp, and I'm going to wait for it, like the water to settle in before I go in with my toner. It's from a brand in India called Minimalist. Interesting how I found them. I wanted to buy the ordinary, but I could not afford it, and I don't even think they had it in India then. And I settled for this, and I've loved it ever since. This is my last bottle. I mean, I still have a long way to go. A little goes a long way, but I'm getting worried that when it finishes, I'm cooked. But not to worry. I'm sure that they are excellent brands in the Nigerian market. So yeah, this story, where do I even start? Okay, so for context, my name is Bamitale. Yeah, I'm Yoruba. I was born and bred in the East, Abia State to be specific, Umahia. And I feel all my life I've had to fight. Not in a I did not have enough kind of way, but when I mean fight, like identity wise, so all my life I've had to fight. I've had to defend something. I was always on defense mode. Okay, so this story starts in 2018, and that was the year I left home for India. I know I have so many layers. I left home for India to pursue, so I'm just my toner, to pursue a pharmacy degree in Bangalore, that's Bangalore, India. That's the south of India. Yeah, whatever, you didn't ask for that context. But on the day I was supposed to leave home, I was at the airport in Lagos, and I was my passport and everything. I told my mom goodbye, and I was walking down to the boarding, whatever. And the immigration lady, she took my passport, and she saw my name. Like, okay, she took my passport. I didn't know what had happened, but she took my passport, and she looked me dead in the eye. I was around 17 at this point, and she asked me, so how many times did you die and come back, Bamitale? And I was so shocked. I was taken aback. Like it was an odd thing to say. I would say, like, it was very, very odd. A really odd thing to say. I don't know if you see the glow. Like, this is so good. It has it's a PHA toner. I use BHAs. I'm a little scared of AHAs. That's the alpha hydroxy acids, like glycolic acid. I do have a fat bottle of glycolic acid in my bathroom, but I just get so scared. I use it under my armpits like once in 50 Eke market days. But the PHAs, they are very gentle. I use BHAs like salicylic acid, good stuff. I believe in two things, Jesus and salicylic acid. Salicylic acid has never failed me, to be honest. So yeah, so this is a PHA. It contains a PHA and some amino acids, which very good for skin. So you can just see the glow. It's just almost instant. So allow that to soak in. So yeah, so she told me that, and I was just so shocked, and I was like, I kind of laughed it off. Like, I don't remember dying or whatever. So I took my passport from her and I walked away. And throughout my flight to Doha, that was the only thing on my mind. Like, why would she say such a thing to me? But of course, it was always at the back of my mind, but I kind of forgot about it. So why this was such a shocker is that, okay, so apparently her statement had something to do with my name. We'll get to it. So why this was the first time I had this encounter is because I grew up in the East, in Abia State. My name is Yoruba, so most people will know the meaning of my name. I know the meaning of my name. It means live long. That's what my parents told me. And I was named after my grandmom. And yeah, so back in Abia, even though I was still in Nigeria, I always had that identity shift. And this whole topic of identity, it could be a whole video on its own, but I think I'll just bring it up here. So I was talking with my friend the other day, and we kind of figured out why I love Lagos so much, because he just can't understand why I love Lagos so much. I'm like, Lagos is the best city in the world. I really, really love Lagos. I'm a huge fangirl for Lagos, and he just could not understand why I love Lagos so much. And as we were talking, I realized that it was in Lagos that I first felt identity. Like, I first felt identity for the first time in my life. I didn't have to say all that, but yeah. So in Abia, even though it was still Nigeria, I was not from that tribe, and I was always reminded, I was constantly reminded, oh, you are quite darker than the rest of us, oh, why do you talk like that, oh, what kind of name is that, where are you from, oh, yeah, Yoruba, oh, blah 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 blah. And then I would always go into defense mode, because then everybody has their stereotypes about each tribe. Everybody has a stereotype about another person. So they're like, oh, you cook with a lot of oil, oh, Yoruba people are dirty, oh, this, oh, that, and all that, oh, they worship idols or whatever. So I would always have to defend and defend and defend, and that was my life. Then when I was 17, I moved to India, and then I had to defend the whole continent. I had to defend Africa as a whole. Africa is poor, blah blah blah, and I was always defending and defending and defending. And even while I was in Abia, there are sometimes I would travel back to my state of origin, that's Kogi State, and I didn't fit in with the kids because I couldn't speak Yoruba. So they would always tell me like, okay, Omo Igbo and all, and then there's me defending the Igbo tribe. Oh no, oh, they do this, they do that. No, it's a lie. And I feel all my life I've had to defend and defend and defend. But Lagos was the first place in my entire life where I did not have to defend. I did not have to defend anything. People were happy to know I was Yoruba, more intrigued that I could speak Igbo. And I think that's why I love Lagos. I mean, at first I was tempted to defend India, but I couldn't care less. And yeah, so no one knew the meaning of my name in Abia because it was not their language. Look at me. I'm 23. I thought by now I would own a house, and I'm squeezing sunscreen out of it like it's begging for help. But to be fair, I have other sunscreens, but I just love this one so much, and it's from an Indian brand as well, It's Rhythm, and I can't find it. If you know any Nigerian sunscreen that is good, like, please let me know, because I have oily skin. I do not want a white cast. I had some sunscreens born. No, I do not want that. This is also nice, like an invisible sunscreen, but it just feels too heavy. I think this is trash, but I don't know, whatever. So yeah, I'm just going to squeeze my sunscreen. Sorry. Please don't give up on me now. And you know, the whole reason for this pump is to prevent oxidation, and look at me. Half loaf is better than none. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely not enough. Okay, just yeah. Okay, so as I was saying, yeah, like I couldn't care less to defend another country. I was so tired. So Lagos was the first place I felt identity. So yeah, moving on. This was in 20. I think it's 19, not 18. Sorry, 2018. That's when I had that encounter. So I moved to India, whatever. I had to start facing my new battles, I guess. But that was always at the back of my mind. And I like to think of myself as a zillennium. And I think zillenniums are people born like from the start of Gen Z, that's 1995, I guess, if I'm correct, to 2001. I was born in 2001, and I feel we experience both words deeply, like to an extent deeply. We dabbled in both of them because I remember the first time I was on the internet. So I literally watched the internet grow before my eyes, like more information come up, and I believe as of 2019 the information about Nigeria and its culture and language was not as much as what we have now. So in 2021, I think there was now more information. And one day I randomly Googled the meaning of my name. And so I Googled the meaning of my name. It means live long, of course, I know. But then I realized, the Yorubas, they have to, like, sorry, just let that car pass. Okay, so the Yorubas, they have to go an extra mile. So I realized that like my name, like the Yoruba names, they come in different categories. I'll just link it here, but I studied the one that belonged to me, and I realized that my name was under what was called the Abiku names. So I also think what an Abiku is. So basically an Abiku is a name given to a child who kind of keeps dying and coming back. Stay with me. So they believe that the child comes to like torture the parents and is tied to the spirit world or whatever. So when I read it sounded familiar, but I could not really relate to it in the Yoruba context because, as I said, I grew up in the East and that's all I know. So, but I used to read that so much as a child. I still read, not as much. Sometimes I forget that I enjoy reading, not as much anymore, but I still read from time to time. So I remember that I read about the Igbo equivalent, which is called an Obanje. Stay with me. It's all ties up. So I remember reading about Igbo equivalent. So I was using the Nivea Men lip balm. It has SPF 15. My ride or die. This was I don't know what I'll do when it finishes, but whatever. Hold on. So. Okay, so I knew the Igbo equivalent, which was Obanje, and I was like, oh my god, I know I'm not an Obanje because I do remember my spirit sisters. I knew simply that the name was given to me because it was my grandmom's name. So it was then at that moment everything made sense. The woman asked me how many times I died and came back because she thought I was given the name Bamitale because I was the Abiku, but of course I was not the Abiku, and I was like, oh my god, that's mind blowing. Like, guys, information is power. So now fast forward down the line like 2022 or so I started dating someone like outside of my race and everything, and then I really liked this person and I told the person, oh, what's your genotype, let's even know where we are heading to, because I really liked it. And he was like, oh, what's a genotype? I was like, what the hell, what do you mean by what's a genotype? I know you didn't do the sciences, but genotype, because it's very popular in Nigeria. And if you're Nigerian, you understand. So genotype is, I'll just link it here, I'll just show you. Yeah, so he didn't have any idea. So I remember checking for mine like years back, but I had forgotten what it was. And I went to a medical laboratory and I told them, oh, I would want to check my genotype, and like blood group. I said no, genotype. It took them 20 solid minutes, and this was in India. It took them 20 solid minutes to kind of put two and two together to understand what a genotype is. Then they called this ridiculous price. I was like, no, it's not supposed to cost that much, things here are cheap. And then I realized, could the whole sickle cell thing be a Nigerian problem? Because in Nigeria, before you get married, you have to check if you are compatible with the person, not just like emotionally or whatever, or physically. You have to be compatible health-wise. So that's where the whole genotype thing comes in. So AA can marry anybody, AS can only marry AA, SS can only marry AA. In fact, the AA guy is actually superior, and I'm AA, so yeah, whatever. So it was just interesting to know that it was not their problem. So I dug into research and I realized it was actually an African problem. So there's a study I read back then, and why I'm able to tell the story like so confidently and so like it's just flowing out through me is because I immersed myself in their media. And I know nowadays we hear talks about, oh, do not consume so much, just create. But to create, we have to consume. I strongly believe it. A good example is the app Substack. I felt it was a cool app, but I do not consume enough there, and that's why I do not create enough there. Then there's Instagram. I consume so much and I create there. I don't know if you get this. I feel we are all a collage. Like we are a collage of the media we consume, the people we meet, the experiences we have, and that's how we are able to create things. Nothing just comes out. It can be an idea, but it doesn't just come out of the ordinary. You are not God. Like it's what you have consumed, that kind of whatever. So that's why I'm able to just tell the story so well. So I went back and I read the study that talked about the SSG, the S gene being a mutation. Now, when I was in Benin during my adaptation program for pharmacy school, I asked one of the lecturers about this, and she kind of debunked it that she has been teaching sickle cell for the past 12 years, blah 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 blah. It's not a mutation. I was like, okay, but I remember reading that study, and I'll look for the study and I'll put it up. That it was a mutation to protect people in the tropics from malaria, because as you know, people with AA they get malaria more often. I don't know, because maybe their red blood cells are robust. I should know better because I'm a pharmacist, but whatever. Maybe their red blood cells are more robust than, I'm just brushing my eyebrows, are more robust than whatever. So so it said it was a mutation, and it was a mutation that went wrong. So now there's the S genes, which makes the red blood cells like abnormally shaped, and that way they die easily, and then there's coagulation and they have the pain crisis. You know that story. And then they have anemia. I had a case of anemia recently, and to be honest, it was horrible. I donated blood and I'm now on blood tonic. That's the gist. So I'm using this it's supposed to be, it's called kajal, they call it kajal in India. It's supposed to be an eye thing, but it works so well for the lips. Now I need full concentration. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks quite pretty. So so as I said, I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, it was the mutation that went wrong and it didn't really go as planned, and that's how the S gene came into being and whatever. So that's why it was an African thing. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So as I was still reading, I think that day as well, I was curious as to, oh, but why were those Obanje children or those Abikuns, why were they dying? Remember, my name is an Abiku name. So I now Googled this and I saw a study from 2001. You are not ready for this. That linked the Abikun phenomena or the Obanje phenomena to sickle cell. So now the mutation has come into Nigeria, the tropics, to protect people. Now, two parents that have the H genes get married and they give birth to a child that has sickle cell. This child has crisis and the child dies. Then they give birth to another child that has sickle cell and the child dies again, and the cycle continues. So now these parents now think that, oh, the child was an Obanje or an Abiku, and that's why they just kept coming back. But it was the sickle cell that was killing them. I hope you are like right now, because when I read it, I was like, what the hell? There were no Obanjes, there were no spirit sisters. The spirit sisters were not calling them. They just had sickle cell. If you are not impressed, I don't know what can impress you. I'm doing my brows now. Honestly, if you are not impressed, I'll just give you a minute for that to sink in. La 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 la. Yeah. So this is my favorite story to tell. So yeah, it was such a mind-blowing experience for me, and goes on to show that knowledge is power, I guess. I think that's the end of my story. But yeah, that's how the whole my name, sickle cell, Obanje / Abiku, and identity, how they all linked together, I guess. But I know I'm not the Obanje and or the Abiku. Maybe it was my grandmom who was. I don't know. Or maybe the mom before her. But there was definitely someone that had sickle cell and kept dying and coming back. And who knows, maybe the one that even stayed, that they named that name, that lived long enough to have children until it came to me, that the woman that lived long enough to have children, the original Bamitale, probably did not have sickle cell. Maybe her siblings were the one, because she was not the one coming back, obviously. So yeah. So I got this off an Instagram store. Shout out to my friend Zainab for getting it for me. I got it together with this. So this is like a chocolate one that I used to line my lips sometimes, but we're not doing that today. And yeah, that's my that's my skincare routine. Sometimes I put mascara once in a while. I don't like the take her off process though. And yeah, so I'm going to get dressed. Maybe I'll attach a picture of myself when I'm done, but I'm not getting dressed here, of course, even though it was a grimy. So yeah, so for my body care, I do the OG Nivea, and then I have a body oil. I got this in India as well. It was a vanilla body oil. I had the same for vanilla then. But now what is inside is a lavender oil. You can see it's purple with jojoba oil. That's for my body. And forget that the purse is big. It's just nothing. I have my lip balm, which I don't use. Sorry, my lip gloss, which I don't use. So that's my story. And I think the moral of the lesson is that consume media and consume it deeply. Immerse yourself in it. Go read books, read research studies, and
okay. So
yeah, I hope
this
was
a finished look.
First, I owed you guys that. I don't know why I said that. So I don't know if you can see me. I hope you can see my legs because I have no shoes on. Just trousers, a bodycon dress from Oshodi. Not a bodycon dress. A jump. It's not a jump. I don't know what it's called. And I have this leather bag which I really like. It was a gift from my church in India, and this scrunchie I made this myself. And yeah, so it's supposed to be very relaxed and casual. Yeah, I hope this was entertaining, and yeah, so till next time, bye.